Peace, 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 peace. Love and light. Emotion. Alchemy. You're here with Ryu Kawa of the Alchemy of Temptation. XXX Alchemy. TLT. Whatever and however you want to call it. Call it Lord Rasquiat's sacrosanctum of just alchemy. You understand? For this podcast entry, we're going to talk about the fields of heart space, right? Beforehand, we talked about the Void on Empty Avenue. We went through track 1, 2, and 3 of that EP or single release. And now we're going to get into the fields of heart space, and it's 3 tracks. Let's do a little recap, right, of the Void on Empty Avenue and what we talked about with that. Both of these EPs, Void on Empty Avenue and the Fields of Heart Space, are the first installation of the visual and musical illustrations for The Alchemy of Temptation. It's like yin and yang, the 2 EPs. They're like yin and yang. The Void on Empty Avenue is I guess you could say, the yang. But it's more yin. It's very emotional. Sort of moon presiding over it. The moon, that type of energy. Very dark. Thus void and emptiness, right? While the yang, I suppose, would be the fields of heart space, because it's more light, more rising upwards, more healing energy within that, looking forward to hope. So the sun, the energy of the sun, therefore, they're complementary pieces of work, of art that illustrate the dichotomous energy and topics that are being discussed within the alchemy of temptation, what alchemy is in and of itself, which is bringing darkness or base metal to gold, or to an elixir of youth, to immortalization. So from death of darkness and base root, we go to the crown, to healing, to light, to the upper levels, upper echelon of whatever you may be talking about, whatever element, whatever mind state, whatever ideal, whatever identity. That's what the alchemy of temptation is about. That's what alchemy is. And that is what is done through these 2 pieces of work, these bodies of songs. It illustrates that. But in particular, we're talking about Lord Rasquiat Almighty, the narrative of Lord Rasquiat Almighty and Lady Solana Omni in The Alchemy of Temptation. The Alchemy of Temptation is my creative memoir, right? It's my creative memoir, auto-fictional body of work that outlines a story of childhood loss, heartbreak, death, losing a loved one, and losing yourself, or finding yourself, rather. The alchemy that happens within the growth of shedding yourself in order to grow into who you need to become, in order to take on your destiny, to fulfill your destiny in lifetime, and how that looks within your relationships with others, within your connection to the world around you, your understanding of the world around you, your understanding of your relationship with others, and specifically a significant other, particularly a special person to you, whoever that may be, for you to relate, whoever that may be, like your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, whoever it might be, a kin, whoever the kin is, a loved one. But for Lord Rasquiat Almighty, it's their childhood best friend, who was their first love. You understand? So Lord Rasquiat Almighty is working through and navigating losing that first love. She was lost in the physical. And in that moment of losing her in the physical, he also lost himself in the physical as well, but mostly in the emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. It's a transition point, not only for Lady Solana Omni, but also for Lord Rasquiat Almighty. Although he didn't transition in the physical, like as far as like death, he died in his inner worlds. He transitioned. He's in a transition spiritually. You understand? So we have this movement from one place to the other that are considered opposite. So the Void on Empty Avenue we went through with the leaves hit us in our innocence, wondering about with no one around, right? And then we go for the wind crashing waves ashore like pennies to a bottomless well. Then everyone I drop just might bring you back to life one day, okay? It's a narrative being told, a story being told within just the songs itself. And when you visit the site, yukawa.co, which is my website, you'll be able to go to the particular page specifically made for XXX Alchemy and see though how these projects really narrate the storyline furthermore with the acts. Like it's like Act 1, opening scene part 1 is The Void on Empty Avenue, right? Opening scene part 2 of the same act, Act 1, is The Fields of Heart Space. Opening scene part 3 of the same act, Act 1, we have Ash Mary Mud, which is the upcoming EP or project album that will be released to follow through with this narrative being told, with the illustrative installations that accompany the narrative of the Alchemy Temptation, right? But yeah, so The Void on Empty Avenue, there was a lot of hopelessness, longing, a loss of identity, forgetting and trying to remember the things that you may have suppressed in childhood due to traumatic events, and remembering yourself because you lose part of your identity during that time. So it's remembering who you are, thus remembering, knowing, and understanding how to get to who you're becoming. It's all connected, right? So that is something I tackled as far as the experience itself that we all may go through, right? I also went into my own personal experience with these things, which was about my own loss of love, loss of a pivotal and important, significant relationship, and loss of my childhood home, and I connected those two, being that when in relationship with another intimately, you are sharing your inner child with that person, those people, or let's say that person, because that's what I'm talking about. You're sharing your inner child with that person. So I shared my inner child with Solo, and in that way we had this childhood type of bond and relationship and connection, which felt like home, reminded me of home, reminded me of my childhood home, literally in the physical. Although I lost that, and so I had a lot of memories within that relationship of who I was, where I came from, and losing that relationship with Solo, losing her, it was a second loss of those memories, what I had gained from being in connection with her, remembering, I lost those memories again, as another loss of home, childhood home, it's like a repeat experience of that heartbreak and that death and that transition. So we talked about those things, as well as the fields of heart space. We kind of touched on what that might look like moving forward, but we're going to really get into it now. So first, before we get into that, I do want to read from the Alchemy of Temptation, or XXX Alchemy on yukawa.co, for the opening scene of The Void on Empty Avenue. There is a synopsis, or a little, synopsis is the word for what the Void on Empty Avenue is about as an illustrative piece in connection with the narrative, right? So here's a little prose, and it goes like this. And so it is here that it seems to begin. Here, he would first awaken to his purpose and be given his names of destiny. The story of Lord Rasquiat Almighty, reborn and dubbed Sweet Prince of the Ghetto by his father's family, and Prodigal Prince of the Almighty by his mother's. And throughout both the land of the unknown and tides of the risen, he is simply known as Three Sky. All of these identities, he wonders, who the f*** am I really, and where do I belong? He roams in search of a home, in search of understanding. The elders warned that awakenings weren't pretty, but he could have never prepared for this. this loss of everything. So much in the name. So much more in you. So that's a synopsis for The Void on Empty Avenue. And that's Act 1, opening scene, Part 1, right? And so now we go into the Fields of Heart Space. Act 1, opening scene, Part 2. Let's go ahead and jump into the first track, right? I'll read the synopsis at the end of all of this. So the first track, we got Out of Breath But Still Breathing, Exhilaration for a Watery Soul. Oh, I do honor you so. Beautiful title. And really, honestly, to be honest, to start off, it's like Out of Breath. The Void on Empty Avenue was very death, like centered, like we're dead, we in the void, like literally in the Alchemy of Temptation, the void is this space where everything happened, went down, this separation of self, identity, loss of the lover, the loved one, you know what I'm saying, solo. So, which is Lady Solana Omni, by the way. So this the void is where all this happening, and then we're going to the Fields of Heart Space, which is Lady Solana Omni's realm, right? It's where she's from. While Lord Basquiat Almighty is from the Tides of the Risen. Both of them used to meet in the middle between the two worlds in the Void on Empty Avenue, which was titled The Void on Empty Avenue after the loss happened, the transition occurred. Beforehand, it's just the pines. It's just the borders, between the two worlds, which is the pines is like this forest, this space of trees, their land of curiosity, of wonder, and just growing together, right? In the pines. It's the world of the dead, It's in the Fields of Heart Space is more so the world of the living, in a way. I guess you could say the Void on Avenue is more of a hell. It was created more of a hell because it embodied Basquiat's energy. So it's Fields of Heart Space more of a heaven type mind state, a place of light, of love, of healing and growth. So we're coming up out of the Void on Empty Avenue and going into the Fields of Heart Space. We got Out of Breath, right? Out of breath, we're out of breath from the Void on Empty Avenue. That energy is lack of breathing. It's just being, And now we got, but still breathing, right? Out of breath, but still breathing. That's the Fields of Heart Space. Still breathing. I'm still breathing. Exhilaration for a watery soul. You need water to help for plants to grow in the fields, the fields of flowers, of heart space, of love. You need water. That's life. That's life-giving, life-sustaining. So exhilaration, you're breathing. Excelling, like moving forward, and exhaling, like releasing energy for a watery soul, a soul that's very emotional. There's a lot of emotion. You're actually feeling instead of numbness, instead of void. You're actually feeling thoroughly and completely and wholefully. Wholefully is a word I made up. That's literally a word. Wholefully. You're breathing wholefully, right? And through the soul. Oh, I do honor you so. That's basically saying honoring solo. The energy of the song, it's like a bossa nova, right? Bossa nova is the type of energy of the song. The production by Fred Irie, very upbeat, very lively, make you want to dance. It's kind of happy, right? It's a beautiful song, but the lyrics are not so much. The lyrics are not that. That's not what we're talking about, right? In the lyrics, where we're talking about somebody leaving you, like you're being left in a relationship. She says she doesn't wanna be with me. I'm leaving too. It's like you're breaking up. It's a breakup. It starts off talking about writing, like I don't know what to say. I don't know the words that I want to share specifically that need to be released. But I need to say something, and I don't know. I don't want to just write it. I want to actually tell you this. I want to actually come to you in person and tell you this straight up, that this is how I feel, and about you. I don't want this relationship to end. Like, I don't want to leave. I don't want you to leave. I want to actually be with you. So I'm trying to think of the right words to say, the things to say to you, to get through to you, to, for you to understand. And so that's what Rasquiat is saying throughout the song. It's what I'm saying throughout the song. And it's just like, yeah, what can I do? What can I say? It starts off, here I am, my woman, holding raw for you. Oh, yeah, yeah. Overflowing in your depths, truest to the blue. So basically, I'm showing up. Instead of being like empty and void, I'm showing up whole and raw. Full, right? I'm overflowing in your depths, truest to blue. That's such a beautiful line for one. Like, what comes up in me, it's like I'm overflowing in your depths. I'm filled with all of the emotion that I feel for you, everything that you feel for me, everything that you feel. I'm overflowing in the depths of you, in the fullness of you. I'm filled with all of that. I'm feeling it all. Literally, I'm filled, Filled, and I'm feeling it all. I'm feeling it all. Truest to blue. I mean, I'm loyal to you. I'm loyal to the tide that you are, the ocean of you, the fullness of you, who you are as a whole ocean, a whole sea, a whole body of water, of emotion, of heart, of feels. So, see, baby, there's a mystery to all conduits, and I'm wondering why you wanna close it. So there's a mystery to our conduits. We're talking about the energy of Olokun. Olokun, at the bottom of the ocean, the bottom of the sea. There's this mystery and this depth. This is an Orisha, the Yoruba Ifa faith or tradition, spirituality, religion. We have this mystery. We're talking about the depths. We're talking about the sea. We're talking about the blueness, the water. There's this. We're talking about the bottom of the ocean, this depth, right? The mystery within there, which is very wealthy, very abundant, right? There's a lot of wealth and abundance there at the bottom of that ocean, the bottom of the sea. And so there's this mystery to our conduits, and I'm wondering why you want to close it. Why do you want to close that? This treasure. Why do you want to close it? This flow of mysterious energy, but also being in touch and in tune and tapped into the source, to the spirit, to the ancestors. You understand? This relationship is very sacred. It's very, very, very wealthy in spirituality. You understand? So why you want to close this, right? Close, you told me you chose me. She said she doesn't wanna talk to me. She done with me too. She said she doesn't wanna be with me. She done with me, okay? Why you wanna leave me, na? Said bring me words, bring me the melody to say what I need to say. Is you gonna open up to me? Will you give me the time of day? I ain't never did no things like this before. Said I'm never gonna be this way with no one else no more. Said you took it all now. I never done this. I never been this way. I never opened up. I'm very just raw and open right now. I don't know what to do, what to say to get you to understand. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting because there's this flow, like I said, the spiritual energy is so potent, right? In this relationship is so the wealth of everything, words, prayers, spells, truth, ofo is very ashe. There's a lot of ofo ashe, right? So much to be said, that can be said, that should be said, given the energy of the relationship that we talked about previously, right? Very spiritual, very guided by the ancestors, by spirit, by Orisha, right? Very beautiful relationship. So why don't I have the words, right? Give me the words, bring me the melody. I don't know what to say. Like, it's just confusion, it's blockage, right? It's wild, right? So, to say what I need to say. Is you gonna open up to me? Will you give me the time of day? which is very interesting wording. All this openness needs to happen. I'm trying to open up. So it's interesting how the energy of the relationship is like this closed offness now. Like how can I get through? Like I know the wealth and the expansive freedom of this relationship that we had, that we shared, and I feel like now that all of that's closed off, it's blocked. The water's not flowing. It's like this impeding of the energy. So just imagine feeling like that, being in that space. Maybe you've been in that situation before, and it's like I need to express this. I don't know. And I need for you to express to me, talk to me, give me this conversation that needs to be had. I ain't never did no things like this before. I ain't never gonna be this way nobody else no more. I said that I need therapy because she don't. It's like I'm at that low. Like I'm at the bottom of the bottom. When we talking about the bottom of the sea and the bottom of the ocean, hey, there's not just wealth and abundance there and all these beautiful things. It's also this darkness, this depth, this dangerousness to it. You, in a human body, going to sinking to the bottom of the ocean, you're dying, okay? Your lungs, everything's crushing you. So basically, the pressure of it all is crushing you because it's so much depth and mystery. It's kind of like when I think about seeing God's face. You cannot see God's face without dying. You know what I'm saying? Being that close to the divine, to the mysterious, being that close to it, takes you up out of here, right? We're talking about metaphysical. We're talking about spirituality. We're talking about the real deal of it all. And in my tradition of Yoruba Ifa, this is so. You must have some sort of barrier to it all, some sort of protocol, some sort of respect, and some sort of boundary. Okay, I can't go this far. I don't need to know that. Things you don't need to know, You don't need to know everything. Otherwise, you become those things. You become that spirit. You become, you cross over, basically. You transition. So it's like interesting in terms of the wood on MT Avenue, the darkness and the depth of that, and that Solo actually did transition within that realm and that space of the wood on MT Avenue, which is also the time when Raskiel was mounted with his powers and in his realm in his world, right? So in the song Out of Breath, we're talking about trying to access that again, and having had that relationship, that kind of relationship of depth and darkness and mystery, which interesting to add darkness into that. Makes it say it was a relationship of darkness when it was such spiritual, expansive energy, beautiful, right? You think light. But having had that, and it's like, okay, I need therapy now. I'm at the lowest of the low. Like I went probably too far, probably too far into it. I'll never be the same, right? I've transitioned. I've left my old self in that relationship, and I'm becoming somebody else new. And without it, who does that even look like? When the relationship was my reference point, my stability, my foundation for my identity of who I was, but who I'm becoming, because it's a part of my identity, right? Now without it, where am I at? What am I able to cling to? What am I able to for sanity? For well-being of mind. So I said I need therapy because she don't want me no more. Like it's like I need therapy now. Like I need to work through it and figure this all out. Says she took it all now. And then we go into Alpha, Omega, Says you the Alpha, Omega. Says she took my heart for ransom, nothing to say. She took my heart for ransom. She took in the middle of June. In the middle of the meadows, the fields of heart space. The meadows is another term for the fields of heart space, another name for the fields of heart space where Solana is from. In the middle of June, we think about summer, things blossoming, full bloom, right? And so, yeah, it's like this loss of all of that, though. Who am I? Where do I go from here? We still following the same elements and same energy of the void on Empty Avenue in a way, which is perfect because it's a transition track it's the first track we're going to from Vote on MT Avenue to the Fields of Heart space. So it's an introduction of, okay, that this light uppity energy, right, with the energy of the song instrumentally. And just the upbeatness, kind of like he's dancing to your sadness. It's like I'm moving my body to get this energy up and out. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to work true so that I can move into light. into the actual fields of heart space, you understand? To get into real feeling and feeling fulfilled within this space and this transition. So yeah, it's my absolute favorite on both of the EPs, Void on Empty Avenue and Appeals of Heart Space. Everyone I've dropped is probably the only contender. It's the only contender. But Out of Breath is my favorite, hands down. And the visual is very simple. We're showing me running on a soccer field. Because I thought about Brazil, Bahia, right? Beautiful place. Just spiritually, just so abundant, so blessed. It's a very sacred land. And so when I think about Brazil, I think about soccer. Soccer is a very sacred sport to me. Very blissful sport. The same as Brazil. Which Brazil actually, football is actually pretty prominent there. It's very connected. I think about capoeira, you know what I'm saying, and the connection there, and very ancestral. And so me running on the soccer field, not even with the soccer, just freely, like just running about, and there's like this fog that's laying over, beautifully blanketing the atmosphere. It was a very special time, very special space. Backstory, I actually just was driving along in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and I saw this field, which Chapel Hill is a very beautiful, sacred place too. It's very spiritually aligned. But I was driving along one night and I saw the field and the way that the fog was sitting over it. It was just perfect. I just, in the moment, spur of the moment, just stop, go, record and run. I wasn't even doing it for a visual or anything, just in the moment, Beautiful space, beautiful visual in and of itself. I typically do that, just take visuals of things I see as I go. Beautiful things, just capture it. It is seeing God's face right there, like seeing those moments, seeing spirit in the physical. So, yeah, that's all I got for this podcast entry. Welcome back. I thank you for tuning in. We'll get into the next song on the Fields of Heart Space with the next entry. You understand? I'm excited. I love Fields of Heart Space and just this whole narrative, Alchemy Temptation. Yes, you're witnessing and tune into something very, 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 very powerful and beautiful. All right? Know that. And I haven't forgotten about the synopsis for the Fields of Heart Space, which is available again at yukawa.co/xxxalchemy. All right, here we go. Act 1, opening scene, part 2. His love is kept alive through the fields of which she comes from. It's there that he lurks from time to time, unseen and unheard, trying to truly understand what she ran from. What made her? What gave her the ability to see him, to hear him, know him, all of him, yet not run away from him? What was it that made him more home to her than home? He knew why he roamed, but why did she? And what made it possible for her to find him when she did? I guess he figured that if he found the answer to these questions, he might find her again. He imagined that he might turn the same corners that she used to as a kid and find her waiting patiently in the destituteness of his grief, as if it only been a game of hide and seek they used to play amongst the trees. But he used to really sense her steady heartbeat behind the leaves, and now he just feels that he's maybe gone crazy. What a love to lose. Yet, what more could an artist ask for? He solemnly thinks as he paints another portrait of the late Lady Solana Omni. So yeah, the next entry we'll get into, headed whence I've been, I shan't tarry, lest we wait longer. No rush, I just miss us. Yes. I love this one too. I ain't gonna lie, this is a contender. This might be number 3. This one might be number 3 in my on my list. This is number 3 probably. Okay, we'll get into it. Next entry. All right. Peace. The outcome of temptation.